Let me just get this right off the bat. Naruto and Michelangelo being instant best buddies has got to be one of the coolest things ever, period. Like, honestly. Before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's dial things back and talk about TMNT and, surprisingly, doing a crossover with Naruto. Now, this was a bit of a while ago. Currently, the second issue actually dropped not that long ago, so I'm a little bit late to the party, to say the least. But that does not mean I'm not going to talk about it. So, I gotta admit, I'm kind of shocked that this crossover became a thing, when in actuality, of all the things TMNT has crossed over and could potentially cross over with in the future, Naruto seems to fit the most. To be honest, that's not me really dunking or crapping on any of the previous crossover they had. If anything, their Batman one is, by extent, probably one of the best crossovers ever written, period. And not to mention that, but the animated movie that kind of sort of adapted some of the crossovers that they did is also one of the best DC anime movies ever made. Don't at me. But to jump back in topic here, it's actually pretty awesome and pretty well done, to say the least. The artwork and the writing actually do a good job of bringing the two together. Despite this being clearly a Western comic, it does bring in the style and aesthetic that Kishimoto had for original Naruto Part 1. And a little disclosure here, how things are presented here is not like a rift is opened up from the TMNT proper and they end up in the world of Naruto, or vice versa. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a fan fiction-y type deal here, where the turtles exist in the world of Naruto. We actually get to see April O'Neil interview and talk to Kakashi and Team 7, which is awesome to say the least, and them running into a bit of the Foot Clan as well. And we get to see Team 7 and Foot Clan fight, as well as seeing Team 7 and the TMNT also duke it out, probably for crossover's sake, since this happens a lot when characters cross over, where they meet before they even meet up or become friends. They end up fighting for a duration of time, which can be annoying to say the least, or at least I myself am rather annoyed by it. I'm not the biggest fan of this trope, to be honest. It's kind of overplayed and overdone. Luckily enough, the fight is pretty short-lived, and Kakashi claims to know Splinter, or rather Master Yoshi, which in issue 2, we actually get a bit more backstory, and we actually learn that, in fact, this is borrowing more so from the OG comic storyline, or the '03 cartoon, if you're more privy to the animated side of TMNT, which we learn in issue 2. It's actually revealed that Splinter is, in fact, Yoshi's pet rat. So they're doing the original comic storyline slash movie slash '03 version of Splinter and the Turtles, and not the other version and the semi-updated versions we got with the IDW run or some of the other adaptations that we got later on down the line, which I don't really mind too much, to be honest. It's just a funny detail, to say the least. Which then after that, we get more of a bouncing dynamic between the Turtles and Team 7, and we get to see in some panels that Naruto and Michelangelo actually are pretty much buddies, goofing off and even skateboarding, while Sasuke and Leonardo are actually meditating, which is a really neat detail and pretty awesome to say the least, even though I think the big nerd in me won't really lie, but part of me thinks that Sasuke would fit better if he was trained with Raphael, but that could be a personal thing. I actually wonder what you guys might think, but we shall see as the issues go out and see how this storyline actually continues. I think one thing I will say is pretty sad is just how slow this comic is actually turning out. It's clearly a monthly or bi-monthly from the looks of things. I haven't really seen all that much or that many updates when it comes to issue 3 and the subsequent issues following, so it definitely might be a hot minute or a good ass while before this completely wraps up and we actually get the full picture here. But I will not lie, so far with what we've gotten, it's actually really fun, and as someone who is a big Naruto Part 1 fan and as well as a TMNT fan, or TMNT '03 slash the original comic run, yeah, I'm that guy, I will say that I had a hell of a lot of fun and actually thought that this was pretty awesome and definitely one of the best crossovers that they have done in a good while. So to say the least, this is definitely one of the highlights, to be honest. So I'll end my little recommendation here. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and all that jazz. Hope you guys take care and stay chill, Wanderers.